everything and keep thinking of their path. Yeah, even further into his life, further into life, and live a long, healthy, and happy, and joyful life.
Amen.
Amen. The one who blesses should be blessed
Thank you.
with the blessing of Hashem, which is greater than even the one that gave it.
Enjoy your class.
Should say Septa Meruba al Ha'ikr. That the addition of the Hashem adds to your bracha is even greater than what you start out with.
Yeah. I know that like on the yeah. I wanted to wait you about my
How are you today, Chaya?
I am 19. I am good by Hashem.
Baruch
Especially
Hashem.
since my birthday.
Today's your birthday. Oh, that's why you're giving brachas like that. Wow. So all the brachas you give, Hashem should be,
Amen.
they should bounce right back at you.
Thank you, amen.
Are we online? All right, chapter 3.
We don't have time, guys. Tisha, do you have?
Yeah, thank you. I now know where the greater was that you're talking about. I know it today. Finally.
He is saying, the Alter Rebbe is saying here, that when a person will contemplate the greatness of Hashem in his mind, as conceive of the idea in the right side of his mind, develop it in the left side of his mind. Good morning, Rosh Hashanah. And will remain focused on this idea with the quality of das. Then he will be inspired with an intense love of Hashem like fiery flames. And then he gave 4 different expressions of this love. A passion, a desire, a longing, and a yearning of the soul. And now he brings verses from the Torah to back him up. Just as he says that there were these 4 levels, so he brings up pasuk. Nichsa gam kalsa nafsha, on page 73 at the top. My soul, nichsa, is yearning, is longing for you, Hashem. Now, the root of that word is kesef, which means silver. The word kesef also means longing, because it says in the pasuk, because you yearned to go back to your father's home. Lavan says to Yaakov. So it's a yearning to be connected with Hashem. Second pasuk. Tzama nafshi le'elokim. My soul thirsts to be with Hashem. So that's more than desire. When you're thirsty, it's much stronger than just, I would like to have a drink, but I'm thirsty. It's much stronger, much stronger passion, need, feeling of a need. And my soul thirsts for Hashem. And finally, as we've heard the Rebbe sing, I'm sure everybody has heard this on the videos, Tzama lecha nafshi, my whole being is thirsting for Hashem. Then he defines this further, page 73 in the middle. This thirst, simoin, remember we learned that there are 4 elements: fire, air, water, earth. The element of fire in the godly soul, that's the source of the thirst. element of fire in the godly soul. Commission Kosovo Ta'tivim, and students who study medicine, they affirm that this is the case. It's also written in books of Kabbalah. The Eitz Chaim, who wrote the book called the Eitz Chaim? What is it? This is a review. Who wrote the Eitz Chaim? Yeah. Eitz Chaim means literally the tree of life. Who wrote this book called the Tree of Life, and what's in it? So the answer is Rabbi Chaim Vital. He put his name in the title, Chaim Vital, and he was the foremost student of the Arizal. So these are the teachings of the Arizal. So if fire is in the heart, what puts out the fire is water. Water puts out fire. What's the source of water in the godly soul? That's in the mind. It's compared to Torah. So Torah, learning Torah cools down the emotions. So you don't get overwhelmed. You don't expire with this burning fire of love. Commission Kosovo Beitz Chaim Sharnud, as is written in the 50th gate of the Eitz Chaim, Shibachinis Chachma, and this water in the mind, the element of water, spiritual water in the mind, is connected to the idea of wisdom, Chachma, which we learned before already. The wisdom is where we conceive ideas, where they pop into our head. As compared to water in the godly soul. Page 74. Bashar Hamidis. So we have two midas here. We have love of Hashem and fear of Hashem, which are aroused by meditating on the greatness of Hashem. Love of Hashem, we want to be connected to Him. We want to do whatever is appropriate for a person to do, like a child who loves his father. And we don't want to do anything, heaven forbid, against Hashem that would incur His disapproval. Like a child would not want to do something to insult or irritate a parent that the child loves them. So that's the two midas. The first two emotional characteristics are love and fear. The other five midas we described is Tiferes, is the third, corresponding to Yaakov. And love corresponds to Abraham. Fear corresponds to Yitzchak. Hashem is called the fear of Yitzchak, the one that Yitzchak fears. Yaakov corresponds to Tiferes, which is beauty, which is harmony, harmonizing opposites. And then we learn about Netzach, Hoyd, Yesod, which are like the two thighs. Love and fear are like the two arms, the two hands of your body. And Netzach and Hoyd are like your two thighs that hold up the body. And I describe these to you as the intense determination to get a job done. That's Netzach. And to do it properly, to do it right, to do it in a beautiful way, that's the idea of majesty and Hoyd. So the thing should be done with class. So these other 5 minutes, and then the quality of Yesod, just like Yaakov harmonizes, so the quality of Yesod brings all these feelings to the level of communicating them with someone else. Yesod is about communication. And then we get to Das. So we have Chokhmah, Bina, and Das. Das is located in the back of the brain, the cranium. and it means connection. It means connecting. So Das on the intellectual level is connected down at the end of this whole structure with Yesod, which is connection to the person you're relating to. In other words, if our classes here are going to be successful, it's because there's a connection, a relationship between the teacher and between the students. So our teacher is always trying to check and see it. Am I getting through to the students? Are they with me? Are we on the same page? Are we in agreement? Are we communicating? Without that, we're not accomplishing anything. Person goes away from the class and says, what did we learn today? I don't know anymore. I can't remember. So today we're learning about communication, Yesod. All these other elements. So we have love and fear, beauty, getting it done, no matter what, getting it done right, and communication. All these elements are expressions of one's love, of the idea, and one's fear, which is necessary to shape it out properly. Das is concentration. This is very important. Bottom of page 74, Das. Das means knowledge. Knowledge means that you're constantly connected to the idea. You don't lose track. You don't get distracted. He says attachment and union. Hiskashrus, vischabrus. Hiskashrus is connection, like connection to the Rebbe. It's called hiskashrus. Why does a chassid do a thing? Because he wants to be connected to the Rebbe. And union. Hiskabrus is joining together. He defines it on page 75. Very important expression. A person connects his mind with a very strong bond and connection to the idea. You concentrate, you make yourself concentrate on the idea, and you keep reminding yourself so that you don't forget about it. He fixes his mind with great concentration on the greatness of Hashem. To fix your mind on this idea. So that when you go out in the, here is Yaira. When you get up in the morning and you look up and you see the gray sky, you say to yourself, yeah, but I'm doing this because I want my mind to be fixed on the greatness of Hashem. A little disappointing. I'd rather see a sunny day.
No, it's not. Better.
Oh, well.
Still be grateful to Hashem that He gives us the water
All
that
the rains is
helps our plants grow.
That's true.
Because eventually all this rain will go.
Oh yeah, no rain is bad news. No rain.
Yeah, imagine what Southern California looks like most of the time.
No rain means war,
Yeah, but too much rain means,
flood.
yeah.
Southern California has a lot less rain than
Let's
here.
find the middle.
Yeah.
Around the Gulf of Mexico, they get floods quite a lot every year in the hurricane season. Tremendous rains. Okay, so Das means, we got to get this into our brains, that Das means fixing your mind on an idea and not letting yourself forget about it. Like you learn an idea and it's very inspiring and you'd like this idea to influence the rest of your life, the rest of your day. And then somebody comes and does something, a roommate perhaps, or some other student who behaves in a way that's irritating to you and you get upset, and you forget all about it. Forget about all that wonderful idea that you had of concentrating on Hashem during the day. So what happened? The das wasn't working. If the das doesn't work, we lose our connection with the idea. And so where does the idea go? Whoo, just disappears because there's no das. Or like the example I gave you one time about the philosopher who was teaching about ethics in life and smoking a cigarette, and people understood. He didn't know what he was talking about. He was talking about spiritual health and he's smoking a cigarette. He doesn't know, he doesn't have das. So he concludes on page 75. So we see from this, okay, das hu kiyum hamidus v'chayusan. Das is the ongoing life and continuity of the midah. So the midah, what is a midah? The midah is the measure of the person. The basic midahs are love and fear. I have this idea of the greatness of Hashem. The midah of Ava expresses my awareness of Hashem's greatness as love. I want to be connected to Him. I want to do the kind of things that He wants me to do. And Gevura is fear of Hashem, fear in my mind, fear in my heart. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't also want to get hurt. So that's Gevura. I want the idea of the greatness of Hashem should express itself in every detail, but I have to be careful not to overstep my limits. You know, sometimes a person gets very excited about an idea and he's talking about it and he's pushing his ideas onto other people, and they say, it's such a bore. He's not relating to anybody. Batya, are you with me?
Yeah.
So das keeps the midas alive. Das is the concentration on the idea, the idea the way it is in Chochmah Bina, brings it down into your midas, into the way you behave. And das contains, therefore, das contains within it chesed and gevura. What are we getting at here? How can I illustrate this? Let's make a little diagram. Here we have an idea. This is the idea of the greatness of Hashem. We have the chachma of the idea and the development of the idea. Chachma and bina. And now here we have das. Das is the concentration. Das is going to inspire love of Hashem and respect, or other kinds of fear, right? You have to have love and respect, both. I told you the story once when we moved into our house. There was this man that we knew who happened to be in town. He happened to have a truck, and so he offered to help us move. And it was a big help. It was a freezing cold day. My wife has a lot of plants. They all froze, just moving over 2 blocks in Crown Heights. All the plants froze and died. I said, oh, you're moving to the house. I have a sofa for you. We said, we don't need a sofa. We have 2 sofas already. Oh, but I have a good sofa. I'm going to bring it. And he insisted on bringing his good sofa because it was lacking this. Is this what the person really needs? It's just that you're just expressing your love, but without the respect, it's not going to be appreciated. And so then we have the third midah here, which is beauty, harmony, B-E-A-U, B-E-A-U-T-Y, beauty. So the same way das contains within it love and gevura, respect, fear, so this comes down again, the middle kav, the middle line. into Tiferes. So when a person puts on tefillin, for instance, you have the box that goes over the head that contains within it the Chachma Bina, and then you have the straps that come down. And they come to a knot here behind the neck. And then from this knot, they come down also on the two sides, the right side and the left side. So this is the idea of das. It's like das contains within it love and fear.
Oops, I forgot.
And it gives life to them. Das is what gives them life and continuity. And then this comes down to Netzach. Netzach is, I'm going to get it done. Which is getting it done. And Hoid is getting it done right. Which means refining, cutting. And Yesoid is communication. Everything stands on that. There's no communication and everything falls apart. And then Malchus is the whole thing. Malchus is Shabbos. So the idea that I want to bring up with this diagram is that Das contains within it Ava and Yira.
Everything contains everything.
What?
Everything contains everything, no?
Yes, but specifically,
Starts with us.
yeah, everything contains everything else, so that every one of these contains a whole makeup of 10. So that 10 becomes 100. 100 we have this like we have three created worlds. We have 4 worlds corresponding to the 4 letters of the name of God. Right? Yud, K, Vav, K, 4 letters of the name of God. So you have 4 worlds. The Yud of Hashem's name is like the world of unity with God, where everything is in God. There's only God, just the Yud. And then we have the K. Oh, somebody put up an image. Look at this. There you go. Somebody put this image up. Maybe that's Yair.
It was not me. I asked for someone to take a photograph of the board that you wrote.
What did you say?
She asked for someone to take a picture of the board. Yeah, picture. So someone just put it.
Who is that someone?
Hi.
Say hello.
I don't know.
Classmate.
Smolka, Rabbi Pape, Smolka.
I'll put it up. Okay, wonderful.
Smolka. I put it up, yeah.
Not this mark. I thought that.
Yaira put it up. Okay, so the main point here is the Das. So we had psukim. The Alter Rebbe brought 3 psukim of love, which really correspond to 3 worlds of Bria, the world of creation. That's the first level of creation is called the world of creation. The second level, much lower in intensity, is the world that recognizes more the concept of things that could be separate from God. So that's a world of forms, where separate things are already being conceived, at least spiritually, on a spiritual level. And then the third world is this world, the world of action, where the forms of things actually become physical things. And if we understand that the DNA of each of these worlds is tenfold, same tenfold structure, and every one of these 10 aspects contains within it a whole complete structure of 10. So we have 10 times 10 on 3 levels. So we have 300. And that's why you're going to see many times the number 300 coming up in the Torah, like the size of the ark. It's 300 amas long, because that's what it corresponds to. And you'll see 400, like it's going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights. That's 4 times the level of 10, the structure of creation. Okay, and that is chapter 3. And now we're going to move on to chapter 4.
Whoa. You're fast.
In addition, we have to know, turning over the page, 76, every godly soul, we're still talking about godly souls. Remember, in the first chapter, we talked about the animal soul and the 4 elements that made up the animal soul: fire, water, air, and earth, right? Anger, pride, lust. Water was translated in the animal soul to lust and gluttony, and air, which is bad talk, empty talk, foolish talk, destructive talk, gossip and slander. And earth is laziness and depression. Okay, that's the animal soul. In the godly soul, fire is enthusiasm for serving God with love. That's the element of fire, which we just saw is also the element of thirsting to be connected to God. The element of water in the godly soul is the intellectual appreciation of Torah. Torah is compared to water. Water comes from a high place to a low place. So Torah cools the passions and enables a person to be constructively connected to Hashem. Air in the godly soul translates into prayer and Torah learning, teaching. And earth in the godly soul becomes feelings of humility, right? Sense of lowliness, humbleness. So in addition to all of these 10 faculties, now we have another element to consider, which is your wardrobe. What are you going to wear? Your soul needs garments. This is a very basic and important idea. What are the garments that your soul requires? And in order to get these garments, just like we had the sale last week, what they call it, Black Friday? Mm-hmm. Funny name for a sale. Sounds very foreboding, frightening. Black Friday. And people rush to the stores and buy their garments. So your soul wants to come into this world. Why does your soul want to come into this world? Because garments are on sale in this world. You can get garments here, and they're not expensive. What are the garments of the soul that the soul requires, the soul desires so much? The garments are what you do is a garment of the soul by which the soul expresses itself. What you say is another garment of the soul that expresses who and what you are. And what you think expresses who you are and your character and your values. So thinking, speaking, doing, these are the garments of the soul. Every godly soul wants these 3 garments. The animal soul also wants these 3 garments, and that's where the struggle comes in. That your godly soul wants you to be saying words of Torah, and your animal soul wants you to be sharing the latest gossip. Or politics. Or what's the latest news? In the war, are we winning? Are we not winning? what's going to be. These are things the animal soul wants to talk about. So there we have it on page 76. These garments, shehein machshava, that's thought, dibur is speech, umaisa, and action. As each of these three applies to the 613 mitzvahs of the Torah, Tariag. Tariag, you're familiar with the word Tariag? Tariag is a number. The Tov is 400. The Resh is 200. 400 and 200 adds up to 600. Yud is 10. And Gimel is 3. 10 and 3 is 13. Tariag equals 613 mitzvahs. So in this week's Parsha, Yaakov sends messengers to Esav. He's trying to, Esav hates him. Esav wants to kill him. And he wants to calm him down. So he says, why are you angry at me? Our father blessed me with all these blessings that I should become a great person. I didn't become a great person. I'm just like a stranger here. Im Laban Garti. I've been living with Laban for the last 20 years, Laban, my father-in-law. And the sages say that, but there's a double meaning here. The word I have been living is garti, like a ger, right? The ger is a convert, a stranger. A ger is a stranger. I've been a stranger. I haven't been a prince. I haven't been a ruler. I've been a stranger living with a strange people. They're my cousins, but still, I'm a stranger here. So these letters of the word Garti, which means I have been living. So let's write it on the board. Gar, Gimel, Reish, Tov, Yud. Okay, that's the word Garti, which means I have been living. Ger, right? Now we're going to rearrange the letters. Look what's going to happen. We're going to take the Tov and move it over to here. Tov. I'm going to take the Resh and bring it down here, Resh. I'm going to take the Yud from the end and bring it in here, Yud. No, the Tov. Tari, Yud. And the Gimel from the beginning, we're going to put it here. So what have we got? Tari, Ag. Tariag. So Garti, we change the order of the letters around. And we get Tariag. So it's a mixed message. On the one hand, he's saying, what have I gotten from my father's bracha? I got nothing. I'm just a stranger in a strange land. But I want you to know, Esav, even though these were not good people, Tariag mitzvahs shamarti. It's a rhyme. It's a little like a nursery rhyme. Im Laban Garti, I lived with Laban, who was a wicked person, but Tariag mitzvahs shamarti. I kept all 613 mitzvahs. Isn't that amazing? Amazing.
Rabbi,
What?
there's a great song by a group called Lev Tahor, different than the sect of Judaism. It's just an a cappella band called Lev Tahor, and they have a song that's about this. And the main line is Im Lavan Garti. Taryag mitzvot shamarti. That's like the main line.
Right.
It's a really great song.
Great song. Yeah, great idea. Okay, so, and that really sums up our life, because our life in exile until Moshiach comes, it's a different forms of Im, Love, and Garti. We are living with the Lovans of the world, and our job is to bring godliness into that place. Where did Lavan live? He lived in a place called Haran, which means anger and dispute and conflict. And Yaakov says, I've been living in this place of anger and dispute, but I kept the 613 mitzvahs the whole time and brought godliness into that place. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bezras Hashem.
Is there a group chat of the students that I could join?
Is there a group chat, Batya?
Yes. Yeah, we have a group chat with all the girls on the phone.
All the girls. How does she join? She wants to join.
I can ask Mrs. Cohen or the admin. One second.
Put her on.
I want to send the song
Oh, you want to send a song? Okay. Very good.
and also be up to date. Is there going to be a Farbregan at Machon for your test Kislev?
You'll have to let her know.
Yeah, but we have a program in the dorm.
Not just Yud Tes, but also Yud Dalet. Tomorrow is the anniversary of the Rebbe and the Rebbetzin. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam. Oren hafashos rabos hatzoni. Al kel masel baras al hayes. Bohem nefesh kol chaim baruch. Chei ha'olamim.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi.
Remember, girls, Shabbos by day, 361 New York Avenue. There's Shabbos Kala.
Yes, thank you so much. It's the morning, right?
I was told to finish around 1 o'clock after davening.
Okay. Thank you.
361 New York Avenue, corner of Carroll Street. Walk down to New York, return up, walk up the hill to the corner of Carroll, that's the house.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Then Sunday